Hello, how you doing today? Hope your day is going great. It's me again. I'm here just to share my devotion. We talked about the Israelites disobeying God yesterday, and you won't believe that the next chapter I'm on this morning, they still disobeyed God. It's just crazy how they are so stiff-necked and they easily quickly forget what God did to them. And I know that sometimes we easily forget also what God has done in our lives, because we get carried away with maybe whatever challenges we're facing at that time, and then we forget how good or how good and faithful God has been in our lives. So let's continue to stay faithful. Yesterday was First Samuel 7, but there's something I just wanted to share in First Samuel 3 that I read like sometime last week, and I just wanted to share. Maybe someone out there needs to hear it. Okay, so First Samuel 3 was about when the whole story from the beginning. Hannah couldn't have a child, and then she cried out to God many times, and God now blessed her with a child. And then she promised God that she was going to rededicate her child to Him. I'm sorry, I have a dry throat. And then she said that she promised God that she was going to rededicate her son to Him. So when Samuel was born, that's her son. When Samuel was born, she now rededicated him to God and took him to the priest. And their priest then was Eli. Took him to the priest to live there with him. And so Eli was taking care of Samuel until he grew up. I think it was only when he was a teenager, he heard the voice of God the very first time while he was sleeping. And God kept on calling him, and then he will go to Eli and ask, were you the one calling me? And Eli would say, no, go back. And when next you hear the voice again, tell God that, here am I, or something like that. And your servant is listening. Okay, say whatever you want to say, your servant is listening. Something in that context. So, and then when Eli now, then Samuel now responded, God now told him, gave him a message to go back to give Eli. And it had to do with Eli's household, because Eli was a priest. He was the priest of the temple, and his sons also were priests, but they disrespected God. They were doing all kinds of stuff in the temples, the things that they were not supposed to do, going against the rules and regulations of how the temple was supposed to run. I'm just using my own language, Let me read my notes. Yeah, I always have my notes. Yeah. So let me just read what I read. Okay, this is a powerful chapter. God called Samuel. This was Samuel's first encounter with God. He thought it was Eli calling him, but it was God. Eli told him to answer God. God told him all that Eli's family did to him, disrespecting God and in disobedience. Eli responded by saying, he told God that, Eli responded by saying, after Samuel told him what God said, that he is Lord, let him do whatever is good in his eyes. Okay, so when God told Samuel what he was going to do because they disrespected him, and God now said that he's going to, because of the sins of his children, his sons, he was going to punish them, and the punishment was very, very severe. God said that no one in Eli's household are going to live. They're going to die in their prime. They're not going to live until old age. They're going to die in their prime. Imagine you raising children, and you kind of like a passive parent, not attending, not correcting them, because God said that he actually disrespected him, and he had warnings, and he didn't even stop she didn't stop his sons from doing what they were doing. That a parent is supposed to caution your children, what you're doing is wrong, but Eli didn't caution his children. And God now said, because of that, there's going to be a curse on your family. And what was the curse? That no one from your sons till generation down are going to live till they are old. They're going to die in their prime. Can you beat that? When I read that, I was like, wow, God. That was a severe, severe cost. So as family, as parents now, what are we doing? How are we raising up our children? How are we raising up our children? Are we raising them in God's way? The Bible says that train up your child in the way he should go, and he will not depart from it. Also, that we should bring up our children in the way and admonition of the Lord. So disobedience, we talked about disobedience yesterday, and it's still a continuation of that. Disobedience can cause a lot of huge consequences, and that was what happened to Eli. And something caught to me when he said that. I wrote in my notes, when I write something, then I under ponder. That's what I'm thinking. I said I really had to do a rethink. I told the Lord, what will you take me? What will it take me when I hear you say a capital no to whatever I'm asking you for? In the sense that when Samuel told Eli what God said, Eli responded by saying that he is God. Let him do whatever he wants to do. You hearing that your children are going to die in their prime, and that no one from your children's generation down are never going to see old age. They're going to die in their prime. And he said, that's God. He can do whatever he pleases, And I was like, there are times whereby let me just give an example of when my mom died. Like we all prayed so hard because she was very sick, and we all prayed so hard to God that to make her live. And then she now recovered. When she recovered, I don't even know why this is coming here. This is not what I want to talk about. When she recovered, and then she now went back into, all of a sudden, this sickness just came on again, and then she died. And I was so angry with God. I was so angry. I've never been so angry. I've never, ever. The way I love God so much, like the relationship we had was so strong, and it's still strong today, that I would be angry. I never thought I would find myself in that situation to be angry at God. And I said, you know what, I'm not going to read my Bible. I'm not going to do anything. I'm so upset. Why would you take my mom? And all that. And one day I was in church. Then a friend of mine was greeting me, just consoling me about my mom. And she said something, you know what, no matter what happens, God is still God. That's exactly what Eli said here. He said that, Eli said, he is God. Let him do whatever he pleases. When my friend told me that was when I just, something just came over me like, that is true. Whatever happens, God is still God. So, number one, there are consequences to when we disobey God. It could be grave, huge consequences when we dishonor him, and it could cost us a lot, not just us, our children's children. It could go from generations all the way down. So we need to be careful. I'm only supposed to be here for 5 minutes, over 8 minutes now. He's what was I saying? Yeah. So we don't want to do anything that will cause us to dishonor God, and the consequences will not even end at will not end with us, but it will go all the way down to our children's children. So you should be conscious of that. And then number two, there are times whereby if God tells you something, if he says this is what he's going to do, like I said, if he's God regardless, no matter what, he's God. So you have to honor him and obey him for that. That's the lesson I learned from there. Hold on. Yeah. Yes. So I think I put some notes here too. Before I'll end up by saying, yeah, I mentioned disrespecting God leads to judgment. That was what happened to Eli's children. They had to go through that, and they died in their prime. When their father heard the bad news, they ran to him to tell him about the bad news. He fell and hit his head on the rock, and he also died. It was just like a domino effect. One of Eli's sons, the wife was pregnant, and she was about to have a child. And then someone ran to her to tell her that your husband just died. And she immediately went into labor. had a child and she also died. So you see the domino effect of we not obeying God and disrespecting him. God was so upset and angry, and he said that, because of the disrespect your children are giving me, this is what's going to happen to them. So I pray that in whatever we do, let's honor God. That's just where I'm coming. Let's honor God. Let's obey him, and let's not be passive parents, because the way the world is right now, the kids that are being brought up these days is alarming. If your kids are erratic, they're doing things that are wrong, you are the parents. Do not allow your children to be disrespectful to you. You need to correct them, because if you don't, see what happened to Eli's children. And I'm not saying that could happen, but it could be something that, you imagine bringing up children that are disrespectful. They're also going to bring up children that are disrespectful. So it's going to spiral all the way down. It's going to form another domino effect. So let's do what is right by God and continue to honor him. Okay? All right. So I just wanted to share that. And thank you for listening. I hope somebody got something out of this. All right, then. Take care for now, and I'll see you next time. God bless. Bye.